What's going on, guys? This is Dustin from Forward Investing. This is going to be my first video for the channel, and I'm going to make it a brief one. You'll notice I don't have a fancy microphone yet, and the camera is just a webcam at my office. And I think that really that's all I need to accomplish at least the first few videos that I'm going to be doing. Essentially, I think this is the perfect time to be starting an investing channel because we are going into the beginning of first quarter 2022. It's December 26th, and so we're nearing an end of quarter four 2021. There's lots of interesting things to commentate on and reflect on what's happened over the course of 2021. And essentially, I think that we're going to see a continuation of some of the current trends well into, at least for the first few months of 2022. So looking back, supply chain shortages, some crypto scandals, lots of volatility, but all in all, some excellent growth. So right now, if you look at the stock market, the SPY is sitting at a handsome 470.55, which is worth noting. We are sitting at an all-time high for most indices. So what that tells me is that right now, we've had a good run, companies are growing, and I think people are eagerly awaiting the end of supply chain shortages. Now, I think that this excitement is a little bit premature. I don't think that the supply chain is going to come back to normal. For example, both Tesla and Nvidia have commented that they don't expect, microchips to return to, normal shipping volume until at least 2023. So what that indicates to me, there's definitely still going to be some pain. There's going to be some fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So we're going to be experiencing some FUD. But I don't think that should deter us from making some strategic decisions and expecting a bullish, short-term trend. So we've just come out of a little bit of a dip in November, and I think that this dip was the result of the Omicron news. Now, as it turns out, the Omicron variant of the COVID virus turned out to be a little bit of overhyped nothing. Now, that is not to say that Omicron is not a significant factor in the perception of the market, but objectively speaking, Omicron is not going to be creating the same economic conditions that the Delta variant had created. Keeping in mind that the Delta variant is the most deadly of the COVID variants. So I think as the whole madness behind these new COVID variants dies down, we're going to see some steadiness. Volatility is going to sort of plateau out. And unless some new, more invigorating news comes out, like a new variant or, some sort of major outbreak that leads to lockdowns, I think that COVID is going to stop becoming a major factor in the way people are perceiving the market. Now, it's worth noting right now, the CPI report came out, and we are sitting at a 6.8% for 2021. This is obviously an enormous inflationary rate. It's the highest that we've seen for a long, long time. Normally, we're looking at a 1.4 to 2.3%, at least looking back from 2014 to 2019. So the Federal Reserve has come out with some statements on how they plan on combating that. And I think that's going to be a huge factor as to, whether we're going to see just another repeat of the, May to August bull run that we saw in 2021, or perhaps some people are speculating there may even be a recession looming about. I do not think that if a recession is going to happen, that we are going to be seeing it happen like that. I think it's going to be a slow, insidious process that inevitably leads to the bursting of the inflationary bubble that, has been just ever expanding due to COVID, people not working. And, it doesn't help matters that this period is going to be known as the Great Resignation because, again, statistics show that about 3% of people and upward are simply leaving their jobs. Now, I don't really want to comment too much on that, but I'm just kind of discussing some factors that we could see play into what actually will trigger the recession. Now, of course, the Treasury yields, if the interest rates go up, if the interest rates go up, that very well, could cause the crashing of stocks as we know it. And I think that if that happens, though, like if we begin to see a crashing of the stock market, again, the Federal Reserve is not going to stand idly by, neither are the governments. So they are going to pass whatever legislation it takes in order to not have what happened in 2008 happen, certainly not have a Great Depression. The Federal Reserve has quantitative easing. The banks can raise interest rates, and a legislation can be passed to raise the debt ceiling. So I think, if you ask me, based on all the technical indicators that I have at my disposal and that I'm looking at, I think it's going to be another great year. Now, is there going to be pain? Yes, there's going to be pain. Is there going to be continued problems relating to COVID, such as the supply shortages? Yes. But everybody seems to be confident in the market. And I think that the big theme for 2022 is going to be value plays. I think it's going to be looking at stocks that are raising their dividend yield. For example, Ford has been a strong dividend player, and we can see that the market is becoming more confident. Ford has plenty of plans for their new electric vehicles. Now, whether or not those vehicles are going to compete with Tesla and Lucid and Rivian, that's still to be decided. That's something that, is up for debate and battle in 2022. And I think that is going to make an absolutely exciting thing to watch unfold. We see biotech companies and, kind of relating companies. For example, Thermo Fisher has been creating plenty of products. Their stock has absolutely skyrocketed in 2021. And I think that's a result of people seeing that, there's a lot of value, especially if COVID is going to persist through 2022. These biotech companies and companies relating to making the materials that biotech companies need, they're going to continue to see an increase in stock prices. Now, if travel bans are lifted, I know a lot of people are investing in Delta Airlines, Air Canada. Those may very well be stocks that we see recover and come back up in price. Now, me personally, I will not be investing in travel stocks. I see more value in investing in the more growth companies. Like, for example, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla have been treating me handsomely. And so I'm going to continue with those plays. But in general, I think that there is enormous potential to see, companies across the board grow. Now, when it comes to the meme stocks, I think that there's been a lot of hyped meme stocks. A lot of people are buying stocks simply because it's funny or it's what everyone else is doing. I think 2022 is going to be less of a year for that because, the economy is changing and the virtual world that connects all of us investors together. Certainly it plays a pivotal role, but I think that meme stocks in general, there's so much volatility, there's so much loss. I'm personally voting against, and I have put options against, AMC and GME. So I'll see what happens there. Ultimately, I don't think they're going to be as big of players in the stock market as they were in 2020 and 2021. Other than that, there's not much to say. For a moment, I'd like to talk about cryptocurrencies. So we've seen a lot of interesting developments in the crypto realm in 2021. Primarily, though, I think when it comes to the whole cryptocurrency blockchain mania that's going on, we have really witnessed that it can be a force for danger. Like the Squid Game cryptocurrency, for example, realizing that Tether isn't exactly backed by what they would have you believe they're backed by, and they're supposed to be the supposed stable coin. So I think that a lot of regulation, now that's not to say that it has to be government regulation, but some sort of standard for these cryptocurrencies to be something that people can trade on an open market. I do not think that would be detrimental. It's something we haven't seen, and as a result, I think a lot of people have lost a lot of money, putting their faith and confidence in currencies just to have the rug pulled out from under them. So I think more regulation is going to be created, or at least attempt to be created in 2022. I think that will be impacting the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, positively. And certainly I think we're going to see more crashes like what we saw here just recently in the past 2 months, but it's going to recover. Cryptocurrency evidently is not going anywhere. It is going to become one of the currencies of the future. And I think any keen investor would incorporate that into their strategy moving forward. Certainly, I'm going to be doing the same. And other than that, there's not a whole lot to say. I've kind of said my bit. As long as the Federal Reserve, the governments, and the banks do their part, keep an eye on indicators of a recession, prevent any sort of major collapse from happening, and maybe there may even be a small correctionary period, but as long as we don't have a true recession or depression, fingers crossed, I just think that 2022 is going to be a year of tremendous, opportunity and prosperity, which again makes me really happy as an investor. I hope you're an investor. I hope that makes you happy. And with that being said, we're going to see hopefully some improvements in the idea of the metaverse. So another thing worth mentioning is, and this kind of relates to the blockchain, because we know that cryptocurrencies are going to be integral to whatever the metaverse becomes. It's going to be an online hub where people can, make their own businesses and trade currencies and bring value to a virtual space. So I think that we're going to see more trends happening. Like, for example, Decentraland has now begun selling online virtual properties for the metaverse. Now, this is a little bit sketchy considering that, as far as I'm aware, the metaverse doesn't have like a standardized or central platform. So the structure of the metaverse hasn't even been built yet. And yet somehow, companies are selling property for that. Personally, for me, I think that's a little bit sketchy. I will not be buying property in the metaverse quite yet until I know that there's something substantial there, like a platform or, even if they said, all right, so we've all agreed it's going to be built in Unity 3D, some Unreal graphics engine, anything that would make it substantial for me to say that this is going to be, a standardized thing and that the property I'm buying is going to be on a shared space where everyone else is going to be accessing it. That would be enough for me to consider it. But right now, any sort of play on the metaverse, maybe expecting some growth on the Meta or Facebook stock. Certainly that's something I'll do. I think they will be a firm competitor. Clearly, they're expecting to be one of the prime competitors and the top player in the metaverse game. I'm excited to see how that unfolds. And it's going to be, again, so 2022, I think, there's going to be this theme of, making or breaking. Is a certain action or a certain play going to result in exponential growth, or is it going to cause, things to fall apart? I think that's true on the company level, with the whole metaverse branding change with Facebook, with the Federal Reserve. What kind of plays are they going to do? Are they going to raise the rates? Is everything going to crash, or are things going to steady out? Again, very, very exciting stuff. Electric vehicles right now, Tesla is absolutely running back up again. We've had 2 days, the most recent 2 days of trading have been, 6.7, over 7% growth, and then a corresponding NASDAQ growth. So I think that electric vehicles and self-driving vehicles, again in 2022, we're going to see lots of growth. And I think this is going to be a fantastic year in general for investing. So my intention with this channel at Forward Investing, I want to track how everything progresses. I want to be able to look back on this video and hopefully at that time I'll have some better filming equipment, better microphones, certainly, other than this little cheap thing here. I want to look back and see, were these predictions correct? Was there tremendous bullish opportunities? Or were there indicators that I was missing? Maybe, there's things right now I should have seen that maybe Omicron was a bigger deal, and, maybe some biologists, might be warning there might be more there may be some more variants on the horizon. So, something like that, maybe I am overlooking it. But again, from everything I can see, it looks like it's going to be decreased volatility. Federal Reserve has a plan, and this is going to be the time to invest if you're not investing. So I hope I didn't ramble on too much there, guys, but there was a few things I wanted to cover, and I think that I've put it all together in a coherent way, looking forward. So I'm going to try and upload videos like this regularly. I want to make constant updates on, market trends, and as it unfolds, I want to be able to provide value for you guys to make some profitable plays. So other than that, if you're watching, you're among the first viewers for this channel. So please like, rate, and subscribe. Leave your comments as to what you think that the market's going to be like. And I look forward to, again, all the growth that 2022 has to bring. So thanks, guys. I'm going to let you go for now. And happy investing. Good luck with everything. I hope everything is super profitable. And we will see how everything unfolds. Bye for now.